always love to hear from you. Send us your views, comments, and videos with your name and town to the One Africa TV's WhatsApp on 081 200 6659 or send an SMS to 555. One Africa TV. It just gets better.
Good morning. We are busy with economics of this NSSC syllabus, and we are busy with 2.1, which is about business types. Today we will do close corporations and cooperatives. If you remember correctly, in the previous lesson, we have done partnerships and sole traders. So you remember, if I put the slide on the board, we are busy with the private sector firms. So sole traders is done, partnerships is done, we are now at close corporations. And then we will do cooperatives. Okay, for the features of a close corporation, you remember a sole trader had one person, partnership can have 2 to 20, and here with a close corporation, you can have one person up to 10. So, okay, that the people that belong to a close corporation, that put money into a close corporation, is called members. Where in a partnership, they're called partners. So remember this. If you answer a question, you must use the word 10 members. Limited in size, and that is that only the 10 can contribute capital or can go to the bank and take up a loan on behalf of the CC. If I talk about CC, it is an abbreviation for close corporation, which is usable all over in the financial world. Okay, it's not so expensive to set up a close corporation like companies. If we do in the next lesson private and public companies, then you will see this is a long, expensive process. But close corporations is more expensive than sole traders and partnerships, but not as expensive as companies, and also not as difficult. They must complete a founding statement. And in the name, you will always see there's a CC at the end of the business. So if you see the stationery and the name is on it, or the board in front of their business, you will see at the end the CC. And that is the indication that this business type is a closed corporation. They also registered like companies at the Register of Companies, and they get a certificate of incorporation if they are allowed and all their documents is completed. This is normally done. You normally get a lawyer or somebody who do this, like a chartered accountant who will do this as part of his service to his clients for you, to help you to register your business, and then you pay him to do that. Okay, a very important point of a closed corporation is that they have limited liability. You remember in the case of partners and sole traders, they have unlimited liability. A limited liability means that the closed corporation itself acts as a person. They call it, the closed corporation is a legal person on its own. What that means, that legal person is responsible for their own debts. So why do we say the feature of a closed corporation is limited liability? All these members, that are owners of the closed corporation. They are not responsible for the debts of the closed corporation. The closed corporation, which is a legal person, is responsible for its own debts. It's very important that you understand what this limited liability means. Okay, then if they go to a bank and want to apply for a loan, then only then the bank will require audited financial statements. But they don't have to hand in to the receiver of revenue according to law audited financial statements. It is just sometimes that if they want to apply for a loan, that it is needed. Otherwise, they can let a bookkeeper do their books for them. It don't need to be audited by a CA. The management of a CA is normally by the members. Each member take up a certain part of the management, so you will be responsible for the finances because you have more accounting knowledge, or you will be responsible for all the workers because you have a study in the labor relations or something like that. So you work on where your strength is and you manage that part of the CC. They say this can cause a lot of disagreements. So this is something that, like in the case of a partnership, that is not good because the members may disagree on how to achieve their aims. And they must make sure that they all have the same aims. Okay, and the last point of a CC that I want you to look at is that they say there's no double taxation. The only or short explanation I can give you, any business is taxed on their profits. So if the CC is taxed on their profits, that is finished. There's no other tax beyond that point. So if you as a member get a share of the profits, it doesn't matter how it is divided or according to what agreement, the share of your profits that you get will not be taxed again in your private capacity because it's already taxed. Okay, so if we go from here, the next point that you do, you again work in groups and you will again look at the features, identify the advantages and disadvantages, as we have done in the previous exercise or previous lesson for sole traders and partnerships. You can also do the same classwork, try to look for at least 2 to 3 CCs in your community and in your town or in your city where you are living. That gives you more idea of what this is about. Okay, we can look at the advantages which you have come and work on. The first one I have is the owners have limited liability. That's definitely a reason why people will invest in a CC because they say, I don't have to give up anything else than the money I've put into the business. They will not come and take my car to cover the debts of the business. The second point is a person can die and the rest can still continue with the business. So the business have continuity. And then it is easy to set up, not so expensive like in the case of companies. You hear that I say, I always compare it with other firm. I say not as expensive, but on the other hand, more expensive than a sole trader, more expensive than a partner. So you can compare it and see the advantage in it. Okay, and then the members of a CC are also the owners of the CC, like the partners with the owner. So the members are the owners, they are the people that have put money into this business. And then the benefit of not double taxation. We have looked at that. So you have at least come upon 5 benefits which you can offer in an exam. Okay, we look at the disadvantages which you have worked on and what you could get together. I only have 3 disadvantages. That the number of members that I can allow into a closed corporation is only 10. And that means that it will limit the amount of capital that I can get together. Okay, and the second point, we have talked about that there is oftenly disagreements. If they don't exactly stick to the same aim, and the management have the same aim in mind, the interest may be different, not the interest, the aims. So that can be that it is negative, the disagreements between them. It is also, if you are very strong as a production engineer and you work for a company, you don't always understand accounting. So you can disagree with this person that is responsible for the finances. So that is one of the points that can cause this disagreement. Okay, the last point is that CCs need sometimes audited financial statements, and this financial statements is very expensive. So that is important to take that into consideration. So we have advantages and disadvantages and features of a closed corporation. The next point that we will cover is features of co-operatives. Now, we are still at the private company. You can go back to your slide about all the examples of private sector firms. We are still at the private sector firms. And you will say a cooperative is a firm that is formed by a group of individuals with the same goals and the same interest in mind. So if somebody asks you what is a cooperative, you could offer that as an answer. It is owned and it is controlled by its members. And the profits and the benefits and the losses are also shared by all these members. All members have the same vote. It doesn't matter how many shares you have in this business. And the members work together by using all their different skills to achieve a common interest. So you can easily, if you look at these 4 points, you can easily explain the meaning of a cooperative in 4 points to an examiner. Okay, we look at types of cooperatives. This is a most common one that you get is a worker cooperative. They sometimes call it a producer cooperative. And this is where a lot of producers who have different skills come together and form this cooperative. Now, if we have a lot of people in one area that work on leather products, but the one do bags and the one do the refining of the leather, the other do the coloring of the leather, the other do leather shoes, and so forth, then they can all come together and they can form a cooperative. And that will bring them lots of benefits. We will look at that at the end. Because then their cooperative will be the producer of quality leather products. And every producer work then together in helping to achieve that aim. Then there's a consumer cooperative. Now, a consumer cooperative is very relevant. They say in our situation, they say they buy quality goods in bulk for their members at a good price. Now, you will sometimes see against the small corner shops that they have a big board on that say Centra. It don't mean it is a Centra business. The only thing is all of them are a member of Centra. And what Centra do for them, they purchase all their stock for them. So what they can do is they look for the cheapest sugar and the cheapest oil and the cheapest, say, Kellogg's, which they can get on the market. And then they import it in bulk and they divide it between all the shops that are a member of them. So the benefit of belonging to a consumer cooperative, if you are a corner shop, is that you don't have to concentrate on the purchase of the stock. They buy the stock, they store the stock, and when you ask for it, they deliver it to you. So you as a business get the benefit of bulk buying. And bulk buying means you buy a lot at one time, say a truck full of sugar, and then you get it at a discount. But much cheaper than somebody that buys 2 bags or 2 boxes of sugar. Okay, so that is why small shops belong to consumer cooperatives like Centra, for example. Centra will not only buy everything for you and transport it for you, they will also do the marketing for your products. So that is benefits that you pay for if you become a member of such a consumer cooperative. Then the last one is the agricultural cooperative. This is like Agra in our country. This type of business is that you become a member of that. And the more you buy from them, the more dividends you will receive at the end. So they encourage you to buy and make use of their services and their products they offer. And the more you make use of it, the more dividends you will get at the end. So if there's any profits, which is normally the case, they will divide it according to how much you have purchase and use of this business during the year. Here you can also look at good points about a cooperative. You can sit and talk to your friends about this in a group and see if you see any advantages and disadvantages for a cooperative. And I have mentioned for you most of the examples. You can just write them down that you can have an example of a producer and a consumer and agricultural cooperative. There are more cooperatives, but we just cover this at the moment. The advantages is that I have 4 advantages for cooperative. They are owned and controlled by their members, so there's not other people involved. This is people that have the same interest. This is a democratic business type because everyone just have one vote. And then you remember everyone, I didn't mention this, but everyone has limited liability also. The cooperative is responsible for their own debts. Okay, the last point of our advantages of a cooperative is that the profits are distributed in a portion to how much you have used of their service, or the surpluses are divided and distributed in shares and cash. This is a benefit from the point that I could be on my own and a sole trader, producing my own shoes, leather shoes, but now I'm part of a cooperative and we share in purchasing leather and distributing it to the clients, marketing it, just have one office with one secretary. So we share the cost in all of this and pay only one building where we produce everything. So there will be more profits and we share the responsibilities when it comes to the management. Okay, then the disadvantages of a cooperative. It requires long decision making on how you will organize your cooperative. Members must participate for success. So if you have one member that is just a member and he doesn't really contribute and he is not efficient, working efficiently, it will affect the whole cooperative's profits. It requires very good bookkeeping, that you make sure every member of this cooperative is treated fairly and get his fair share. And there are often, as I've said, there are often problems between the members that manage the cooperative. I assume not as many problems as in a close cooperation or a partnership, because here definitely they have come together because they have one aim in mind. Okay, the homework that I have for you is define a cooperative. That can be, as I've said, 4 marks, but I have 3 here. So discuss why it is better to change from a partnership to a close cooperation. So you must have your knowledge about a partnership of the previous lesson and take the knowledge of close cooperations and look at why it is better for you to rather be in a close cooperation. And then name and explain the 3 types of cooperatives that we have discussed. So you name them and you explain. And it's always good to give an example that you know what you are talking about. Okay, and then I have here exam questions. What is the benefits of becoming part of a farmer cooperative? For us, the farmer cooperatives is also like, in a case of a farmer cooperative, you can be part of this cooperative and they can buy on your behalf fertilizers and seeds, and also get the benefit of buying it in bulk. So you get it cheaper, and they can also help you with the marketing of your final products. Say like your maize that you distribute, or your mango that you want to distribute to the market. And then the features of a CC, they say here, explain it to your friend. They don't know what a CC is. Okay, that is 6 marks. And that is all for today. So remember, we are still busy with the private sector. We have done CCs and we have done cooperatives.
Accommodation is the ability of the eye to focus on distant and near objects, and I bring it in contact with the electroscope. What you must keep in mind is positive charge can't move. It is the negative charge that moves.
So the first one, EF, is then going to be 0 minus negative 2 over 4 minus negative 4. Look at my signs. If you go wrong there, if you don't substitute in brackets, you're definitely going to get wrong answers.
Akili, 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 akili.
Will you wash your hands with me? I want to wash my hands with you. Come on, I will show you what to do. Wash your hands in clean water. Wash your hands, wet them with the water. Wash your hands, now add some soap. Scrub your hands in the soap and water. Scrub above and below between the fingers too. Scrub under your nails and scrub-a-dub-a-doo. Rinse your hands in water. Rinse them clean, rinse away the soap. Dry your hands and go.
Akili, why do we wash our hands?
To wash away the germs.
Akili, what are germs?
They're like tiny little bugs on your hands, and they can make you sick.
But I don't see any germs on my hand.
That's because they're so tiny that you can't even see them.
Oh wow! I want to wash the germs away. Will you wash your hands with me, Akili?
Of course! Wash your hands in clean water. Wash your hands, wet them with the water. Wash your hands, now add some soap. Scrub your hands in the soap and water. Scrub above and below between the fingers too. Scrub under your nails and scrub-a-dub-a-doo. Rinse your hands in water. Rinse them clean, rinse away the soap. Dry your hands and go. Great job, Haruma! Can you tell me the 4 things we did to wash our hands?
I can try.
1.
Wash our hands with water.
2.
Put soap on our hands.
3.
Scrub our hands all over.
4.
Rinse our hands clean with water.
That's right! You got it! Wash your hands, wash the germs away.
Namibia is known for its beautiful wide open landscapes. However, these deserted spaces also pose numerous educational challenges in our country's rural areas. Because of this, many learners are denied access to proper teaching and learning. At EduVision, we believe that education is the starting point to a journey of endless possibilities. It is EduVision's goal to prepare and guide learners in order to make the modern world they are living in accessible to all.